Hey everyone, welcome back. July 1st, 2026. Remember that date, because something is about to happen in the state of Florida that hasn't happened anywhere in America in over 50 years, and the silver market may never be the same because of it. Today we're breaking down what I'm calling the Florida Revolution, why it matters, and why the timing couldn't be more explosive for silver right now. So let's start with what actually happened. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signed a bill that sets the stage for Florida to recognize gold and silver as legal tender, allowing the precious metals to be used for transactions and certain tax payments beginning July 1st, 2026. The measure also exempts purchases of gold and silver from sales tax. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Okay, that sounds interesting, but how big a deal is this really? And the answer is, it's enormous. Here's why. The legislation passed with overwhelming bipartisan support, 113-0 in the House and 38-0 in the Senate. Let that sink in. 0 votes against. In today's political climate, you cannot get politicians to agree on what day of the week it is. But every single lawmaker in Florida looked at this bill and said yes. That tells you how strong the underlying logic is, and DeSantis didn't mince words about why. At the signing ceremony, he stated that precious metals can now start functioning like real currency again, not just investment vehicles for the wealthy, and highlighted that gold has tripled in value since 2015, while the purchasing power of paper money continues to erode due to inflation and federal deficit spending. That last part is key. This isn't just about silver and gold as assets. This is a direct shot at the dollar system from the largest swing state in America. Now let's talk about what this law actually allows you to do, because the details matter. Starting July 1st, 2026, Florida's law recognizes gold and silver meeting specific purity standards 99.5% for gold and 99, a 9% for silver, as legal tender, allowing its use via electronic transfers. That electronic piece is huge. This isn't just about walking into a store with a silver coin in your pocket. This is about building a real, modern payment infrastructure backed by physical metal. Modern payment systems for gold and silver transactions will be developed, including potential debit cards. A silver-backed debit card. In Florida, in 2026. Let that image sink in, and here's something that flies under the radar, but is actually a massive deal for silver investors specifically. Gold coin and silver coin recognized as legal tender are exempt from sales tax. That means the moment this kicks in, every silver purchase in Florida just got cheaper. And because silver is now legally money, not just a commodity, the entire tax and regulatory treatment of it starts to shift. This paves the way for the removal of the 28% federal capital gains tax on gold, currently treated as a collectible under IRS rules. If that happens, and Florida's move puts real pressure on Washington to consider it, silver becomes one of the most tax-advantaged assets you can hold in the entire country. Now, Florida isn't doing this in a vacuum. Florida becomes the first large state to recognize gold and silver as legal tender, joining Utah, Wyoming, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Idaho, and Alabama. But here's the difference. Florida has 23 million people, a GDP bigger than most countries, and a real estate and financial services economy that carries global weight. When Florida moves, markets pay attention in a way they simply don't when smaller states act. This is the domino that could knock everything else over, and the timing. Almost too perfect. Think about everything happening in silver right now simultaneously. Physical shortages are real. China has locked down its silver exports. COMEX vaults are draining. Industrial demand from solar, EVs, and AI is consuming silver faster than mines can dig it up. And right into the middle of all of that, the largest state to ever do this just said silver is money again. Governor DeSantis proclaimed his aim was to strengthen economic self-determination and allow Floridians to protect themselves from the federal government's reckless spending addiction. That language resonates far beyond Florida's borders. That's a message to every American who's watched their purchasing power get eaten alive for the past decade. Here's the bigger picture question: what happens when other states follow? Currently, 43 states have eliminated sales taxes on precious metals, and 23 states have introduced legal tender legislation. Florida just raised the bar significantly with the most comprehensive version of this law yet. Governors in Texas, Arizona, and other large states are going to be watching closely. If this works, if Floridians actually start transacting in silver, if the electronic infrastructure gets built, if the tax advantages become real and visible, the political pressure on other states to do the same will be enormous. And that's when the demand picture for physical silver changes in a way that no futures market, no paper contract, and no algorithmic trade can paper over. Because you can't print silver. You can't manufacture it with a keystroke. DeSantis said the metals will function as real currency again, and not just investment vehicles for the wealthy. And the law gives Florida residents the ability to protect themselves against the declining dollar. When a sitting governor of a 23 million person state says that out loud, on camera, at a signing ceremony, that is a cultural shift, not just a legal one. So here's where we land. July 1st isn't just a law going into effect. It's the moment that silver officially re-enters the American monetary conversation in a serious, large-scale, legally enforceable way. The physical shortage is real. Asia is locking down supply. And now the largest state in the US just told its citizens silver is money. If you've been watching this space and waiting for a signal, this is about as loud as signals get. Like this video if it opened your eyes to what July 1st really means. Drop a comment below. Are you in Florida? Are you already holding silver? I want to hear from you. Subscribe so you don't miss what comes next, because this story is just getting started. See you in the next one.